Hello, Internet friends, and welcome to The Dana Show, where we BS about business and branding. If you're new here, I'm Dana. If you're not new here, well, you must be a time traveler because this is my first episode. So, I'm launching this show to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of starting my business. And let me tell you, I have learned so much over the past year. And today I'm going to share with you my biggest lessons. So, in future episodes, we'll talk about business and branding. We'll be BSing with fellow business owners and all about their struggles, their successes, and how branding ties into everything in their business. So, I want you to get a real look at real business owners and see what works and hasn't worked for them. So, let's get started on my 5 lessons from running my business for a year. Okay, so lesson number 1. Working in survival mode doesn't work. When I launched my business a year ago, I was 6 years out of being separated, and in that 6 years, my divorce was finalized. It was not pleasant. It was a horrific experience. I had custody issues, and then I lost my job in 2024, which is a big reason why I launched my business because I couldn't find anything for the 6 months of my unemployment. I couldn't find the right fit for me. And I decided to go ahead and take the leap and do this on my own. But I was freaking out. I was stressed and frantic and quite frankly a little bit desperate because I needed to feed my children. I needed to keep a roof over our heads. I had a financial need. This was not a side gig. This was not something extra. So I really put my all into it and I worked so hard and I had some successes and then I didn't. And the ups and downs. But what I really learned that coming into it with that, like, I need this, that energy was just not bringing in the right clients for me. And it wasn't the way I wanted to work. It was just so stressful and really unhealthy. But I I needed to support myself and to support my children. So you do what you have to do. So the next thing, lesson number 2, I had to learn to accept my strengths and my weaknesses. So one of my biggest strengths is I'm a storyteller and I'm also a teacher at heart. And that was something that in the past when I worked for a school, I really hoped I would get to do teaching and I wasn't able to. It just didn't work out that way and that's fine. But it's something that I've always done a little bit on the side. I've done through past videos. I've done classes for adult ed, all kinds of different things because I really enjoy helping other people and I'm a good teacher. So that is a strength for me. And storytelling is also a strength for me and something that I wasn't bringing though to my teaching in on my videos and things like that. So I know what my strengths are. I wasn't really focusing on them enough. I was focusing on things I wasn't as good at because I thought those were the things that were going to bring me income. And again, I needed income. So I was focusing on, for example, social media management. I know more about social media and social media management than the average person, but it is not my strength. It is not, there are so many people who are quite frankly better at it than I am. What I'm good at is figuring out the message, figuring out your branding, figuring out how that works with your social media, helping you devise a plan. But with social media, I really believe that you need to have someone inside your business doing your day-to-day social media. If you work with an outside company, maybe that's to polish it, to help you come up with a plan, maybe to help you record and edit videos if that's the kind of thing you want to do. But your social media needs, in my opinion, needs to be personal and authentic, and you can't hire someone to be authentic for you. And either you need to hire an in-house person to do it, or you need to do it yourself in some way. Participate in that in some way. So I found it really hard trying to do other people's social media because I'm not in their business. I'm not in their industry, and I'm not doing the day-to-day work. So it's really hard for me to show those things when I'm not involved. And honestly, if you're gonna have someone do those things, you end up sending it to them anyway. You might as well just post it at that point. Definitely hire someone to come in, consult, to help you organize, to help you manage, help you polish, help you decide your messaging. But that day to day, I really believe that you need to be doing a lot of that on your own in some way. So that was something that I discovered it wasn't good for me. I wasn't doing a very good job for my clients because it's something they needed to do to be authentic. And also, I find it really stressful. Um, the having to constant post, the algorithms, you don't want to make a mistake. It's one of the biggest challenges I've always had in my work is it's public. So for a lot of people, if you make a typo on something, the only person who sees it is like you and the handful of people you're working with, maybe in a report or something, your boss. If I make a typo on something, it's public. And that's a lot of pressure at times. But what I really find is the time, the is it getting likes? Is it getting did I get it posted? Did it post at the right time? Did it go to everywhere it's supposed to go? And managing multiple accounts and trying to keep all of that straight and manage the calendar, it's just not for me, okay, to do for someone else. It's just something I really learned that is not my strong suit. It is a weakness for me in my business compared to the other things that I'm good at. Like I said, I can do it, but it's not my strong suit. What I'm good at is branding, is finding out what makes you real and relatable. And what's your story? Why would other people want to work with you as opposed to someone else? What makes you different? And how do we package all of that and make it something that you can be consistent with? A lot of people think when they hear branding, they just think, your logo and your colors. But branding, I'm gonna replace the word branding for you. I want you to think about, instead of the word brand, when you hear the word branding, I want you to instead think the word reputation. Okay? So branding is reputation. And what I mean by that is branding is really what other people think about you, which is essentially your reputation, right? Branding doesn't begin and end with your logo. Nobody cares what your logo looks like. It is a tool that you use to help you be recognizable instantly. It's why every 3-year-old knows what the golden arches are when they go down the street, right? Got to get that Happy Meal. So we use the logo in your branding to become recognizable, but your branding really is your reputation. Do people want to work with you, and why? That's your brand. And how that we work with that by creating the messages and putting that out there. But you could have the best marketing in the world and provide the worst service, and you're not going to get more client. You'll get clients through your marketing. You won't get repeat clients, if that makes sense. So figuring out, I'm good at helping you figure that out. What makes you different? How do we utilize all of those tools? What I needed to do was find a way to balance what my clients and potential clients need while staying true to what I'm good at and what I feel confident doing. And that took me a while. And I tried a lot of different things, and some of them worked and some of them didn't. And really, it came down to I need to focus on my strengths and believe that by doing that, and that's my best work, then the right clients will come and find me because they have a need that I can help fill. Right. So lesson number 3, discovering what I want to do. So I figured out pretty quickly what I didn't want to do. Like I said before, being a social media manager is not what I want to do. And I even ended up giving up a nonprofit position that ended up being pretty much social media manager because it's not how I wanted to spend my time. And it was taking a lot of time. And I didn't feel good at it. It was stressful and it just wasn't working for me. And I don't think it was working for them either, to be honest. So I was just like, you know what? You have a need. I'm not filling that need. This isn't where my strengths are. I'm going to go ahead and step back and let you find someone who is a better fit for that position, for what your needs are. And that was really hard for me because I love that organization. I still do. And quite frankly felt like a failure. And that was a really hard one to be like, no, I can't do this anymore. And you're better off without me. So discovering what I wanted to do was a big part of building my business. And at the very beginning of this year of 2025, I had an amazing opportunity come my way. And it was truly a dream come true. I started teaching at Point Park University. I have always wanted to teach at the college level, always. I have dreamt of being a college professor, but I just didn't make sense for me to go and get my PhD and completely change career paths. Well, it turns out I don't have to do that. I'm an adjunct professor. I teach 1 or 2 classes. I taught 1 class in the spring. I'm teaching again the same class this coming spring and possibly 1 or 2 more. We'll see. Still in the talks about that. But what I discovered is I love it. It's something I dreamt about. It's something I'm good at. And I really, really enjoyed doing it. And I got a good grade. I got a B on my feedback from my students. And I was very happy with that, considering this is the first time I'd ever taught at the college level. Was responsible for all of the curriculum, for all of the testing, for everything. I got a course description and I was up to me. And I was hired very late. So I was hired on Friday and class started Monday. Like I said, this opportunity literally like dropped in my lap from the heavens. It was amazing. And I was very much building this class as I went. I just didn't have the time to do that. Plus, I needed to get used to the pace of a college class, meeting 2 days a week, an hour and a half class, and all of the things that go with it. So it was a very much a learning experience for me, but it really confirmed for me that teaching is, in fact, one of my strengths. Storytelling is, in fact, one of my strengths. And when I came out of the class in the spring, I was going, wait a minute, what am I doing in my business? Why am I not focusing on this? This is what I'm good at. I'm literally being paid to teach college students, and that means something. So I was it was really eye-opening for me in a lot of different areas. And what I found I was really getting tired of, and what I didn't like about my business, was the back and the forth with the clients. Took forever to get things done because I'd meet, we'd do the proposal, I'd send it back to them, I'd wait for them to get back to me, I'd send them the contract, I'd wait for that to get back, and then we'd meet to start the project, and then I'd work on it and get feedback, and then I'd work on it and get feedback and edit and feedback and edit and back and forth and back and forth, and then scheduling social media posts and this and that, and then they want changes, and it just was not what I wanted to do. I was frustrated. I think my clients were getting frustrated. with me. And at the time, I didn't know what else to do. That's what I was taught that you do. When I got my master's degree in marketing is you do the proposal, you do the work, you do this is how it goes. But honestly, I didn't enjoy it. I don't think my clients enjoy it. So, I really had to take a look at what am I doing? What do I actually want to do? Which brings me to lesson number 4. I had to learn to be picky about who I work with. Because remember in the beginning, I was in survival mode. So I needed to keep food on my table. Whenever someone was interested, I jumped. I mean, that's the hustle, right? Well, I made mistakes. And I made one really big mistake with a client that I don't even want to talk about. Like, it was bad. It was so bad. So bad. But what I learned is in order to run my business the best way for me, I need to make sure that my client and I are good fits for each other. And it goes both ways. I'm very versatile. I can work with almost anybody. But if someone's not a good fit for me, then I'm ultimately not a good fit for them, right? And I really needed to find the right people and not be afraid to say no. But I was like, yeah, $200, $500, sure, I'll do whatever you want. And because I'm looking at my bills are coming in. My kids are like, the fridge is empty, like not literally, but like, like we need to eat. My daughter was in volleyball. Both my kids are now in college, and kids are expensive. Life is expensive and everything's going up, and my income was not steady, and it was just a lot. So really deciding saying no to a potential client was so hard for me. I'm like, I don't want to say no. But when I didn't say no and I took on someone I wasn't sure about, I'm like, let me give it a chance. It would blow up in my face like crazy. And then I would end up basically telling them this isn't a good fit, and then the drama and the fallout, and it's just I needed to be picky about who I work with. And I thought I was, and I wasn't enough at least. But sometimes you don't know what you don't know until you need to know it. So my lesson number 5 was I need to be authentically and unapologetically me. And I did do this to a degree. But I also took a deep dive into AI because that's what everybody's doing. And I quickly found out that if it's a tool that if you're using it as a tool for your branding and marketing to do your writing and you come up with the ideas, it sucks. Sucks. Because if I go to ChatGPT and say, "Hey, I need you to come up with 5 branding ideas for me," and I would do this for my own marketing, it would give me 5 ideas. I'm like, "Oh, these are great." And then it's the same ideas it's telling everybody. It's not unique. It's not unique to me. It's not personal. It's just the same crap everyone else is getting. And then everyone else is doing it. And I especially found writing with AI was instantly recognizable for people. And honestly, that made me look stupid. And I didn't do that a lot, but I experimented with it. And I think that has value. And I learned, right? That's what we do. We learn and we apply. I tried using it to cut time, but I was tired of sounding like everybody else. And which is the opposite of what I wanted to do. Now, I do think AI is a great tool. I teach this as part of my class at Point Park is because it's a writing class is that it is a tool. I like it as a tool for taking notes if I'm in a meeting with a client. If I'm doing a fit call, I can have my AI take notes and I can focus on what the person's saying and then go back and review the notes. That makes sense to me. I'm not asking it to correct or create. It is good for correcting the grammar and things like that. I'm fine with that. It's just to me, that's the same as spell check. When I was in college, we had professors be like, don't use spell check, that's cheating. Well, now everyone uses spell check. I think using AI to like check your grammar is acceptable, but as long as you're doing the writing, right? And I also find it really good for analyzing notes, or if I have a brain dump, finding themes in my brain dump, creating workflows, helping me decide my schedule for the day or the week or the month. Those are places where I've incorporated AI. But the writing parts of it, the creative parts of it, the branding and the marketing parts of it, that's for me to do, because otherwise I sound like everybody else. And that's not what I want. And people are also, because they recognize AI now, they don't want to deal with AI. They want to deal with real people. So bringing it all together, reviewing our 5 lessons, well, my 5 lessons. 1, working in survival mode doesn't work. 2, accepting my strengths and weaknesses. 3, discovering what I want to do. 4, being picky about who I work with. And 5, being authentic and unapologetically me. So the solution was changing my products, which changed everything about my business, including my workflow. So at the end of the day, it is essentially the same products. I still help with branding, with marketing, with web, with social media, video, all of those things. But now I start every client with a fit call, a 15-minute fit call. And we determine if we're a good fit for each other. And if we're not, sometimes I can refer them to someone else they might be a better fit with. Sometimes I can't meet their needs. If you need a social media manager who's going to manage your day-to-day social media, that's not me, but I know some good ones and I'm happy to refer you out. And then I do a brand formula interview. It's an hour, 1 to 2 hour interview where we deep dive into your business. I learn the heart of it, why you started it, why you're doing it, the ins and outs. And then I help my clients discover their special brand of magic, put it in a PDF file, give them everything that they need. And then we move on to the brand elixir intensive. So this phase is done over 1 to 2 days. And we sit down and we work and we edit and you approve. And at the end of 1 to 2 days, depending on the workload, everything's done. You're ready to publish. You're ready to go. And it takes what was sometimes weeks, months long projects into a few days. Now, the entire process takes about a month from fit call to end. But overall, your dedication to it, there's none of that back and forth. It's so much smoother. I love this new method. And more importantly, I'm excited about it. So if you want to work with me, you can reach me, leave a comment, DM me, dana@danaschulte.com, shoot me an email. I'm so thrilled to be here a year later, to have learned so many great things, to share those things with you. If you'd like to be on a future episode of The Dana Show, email me at dana@danaschulte.com, and I will see you next time.